I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Fauci's talked about developing a universal flu vaccine for at least a little over a decade, probably longer. They also knew, before 2020, that the universal flu vaccine needed to be an mRNA vaccine.
Why don't we blow the system up? I mean, obviously we can't just turn off the spigot on the system we have and then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet. But there must be some way that we grow vaccines mostly in eggs, the way we did in 1947. I mean, we live in a world where I can download whatever song I want onto my phone at command, and we grow vaccines the way we did 70 years ago. What is going on with that?
It's time to stop talking. It's time to act. We haven't had this sense of urgency.
Do we need to have lots of people die for that sense of urgency to occur?
In order to make the transition from getting out of the tried and true egg growing, which we know gives us results that can be, beneficial. I mean, we've done well with that, to something that has to be much better. You have to prove that this works, and then you've got to go through all of the clinical trials, phase 1s, phase 2s, phase 3, and then show that this particular product is going to be good over a period of years. That alone, if it works perfectly, is going to take a decade.
As a public health person, I would think that the goal that I would see to really stabilize the system and therefore make it less of a crisis issue when you get to have a pandemic flu, which we know will again occur as was predicted, even though they're rare events, they do occur, is to get as many people vaccinated as possible. And what we foresee in the future is that influenza vaccine will be something that is essentially a routine vaccination for everyone. And if we then transition that into the universal vaccine, then you may only have to do that every couple of years and get people protected not only from seasonal flu, but from pandemic flu. In my mind, that's the end game. And that's good for the companies too, because they're going to know and predict that every year the vast majority of the American population is going to get vaccinated, not having to guess will they or will they not this year or next year.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Dr. Anthony Fauci is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases in Washington.
The concept has been proven in mice and ferrets and in monkeys that you can actually do that. It is very likely, since studies have already been started in humans, that we can elicit that type of an immune response in human.
There might be a need or even an urgent call for an entity of excitement out there that's completely disruptive, that's not beholden to bureaucratic strings and processes.
So we really do have a problem of how the world perceives influenza, and it's going to be very difficult to change that unless you do it from within and say, I don't care what your perception is, we're going to address the problem in a disruptive way and in an iterative way, because you do need both.
There is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
Flu viruses can mutate faster than vaccines can be made using current technology. That's how epidemics get started.
But it is not too crazy to think that an outbreak of a novel avian virus could occur in China somewhere.
We had a collaboration with some Chinese scientists.
We could get the RNA sequence from that, beam it to a number of regional centers, if not local, if not even in your home at some point, and print those vaccines on a patch and self-administer.
You could get a vaccine that would protect against all H3N2s. That would be like, I would refer to that as universal flu vaccine 1.0. So what would universal flu vaccine 2.0 would be? It would be one that would protect not only against all H3N2s, but maybe all H1N1s, which is the other major influenza that we confronted with. So that over a period of years, we would hopefully, ultimately, have a vaccine that we can give to children who are 6 months of age or older that would essentially immunize them and protect them against any variation of influenza, and then maybe every several years. I don't think there's going to be a one shot forever, but perhaps every several years boost them so that they're going to ultimately be protected.
In 2009, vaccines were in short supply when the H1N1 circulated around the world. Production was slow because scientists must first grow the virus in millions of eggs, and the process takes a long time. But scientists say a universal vaccine will not rely on growing viruses in eggs. They will produce it by using the genetic sequencing of the flu.
We have not been able to get a vaccine that is given in a form where it can essentially protect you against all the natural iterations that happen merely because this virus has the capability of mutating.
The other thing that I aspirationally hope to be able to encounter is the ability to rapidly respond to something brand new, whether it's a brand new pandemic or, as you mentioned, a brand new attack upon us deliberately by bioterror.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, don't panic, get your flu shot. Is that fair?
You bet, and I already have.
Fucking stoned.